understand symbolic logic. Symbolic logic is nothing but a logic that we use in our day-to-day life. Whenever we have a real world scenario, we need to apply and understand various conditions where it would be true, where it would be false. And this symbolic logic, I can say simply, is based on the basis of true and false rather than Boolean logic, which is based on 0 or 1, that is on or off. So let's begin with understanding the symbolic logic in the very first go. In the symbolic logic, again, we have the same connectives which we use as in the case of Boolean logic, not, and or. We denote them with the again same diagrams as we have in the Boolean logic. So the diagrams again would remain the same, the gates would remain the same, but the logic symbols vary. Not in symbolic logic is either depicted by a tilde or by a hash. So these are the two symbols that we use for not. For and, what we use is a conjunction, or this is an inverted V. For or, we use disjunction, and this is a wedge, a upright wedge. Then we have if then. If then means if rain then cloud, if cloud then rain. Now this means implies. So either I can use this sign for imply or a horseshoe shape sign which indicates a if then relation. If and only if is represented by IFF as one of the ways, or it is represented by double-sided arrow or a triple line of equivalence. So all of those are the symbols that we use. Now let me make this symbolic logic clear for you. Under the Boolean logic, we talked about simple on-off digital circuits. Let's take some example for symbolic logic. Not, you should complete your homework. Okay, now this is a statement, this is a proposition. What would be the not of it? You do not complete your homework is the not. When I say and, it is a combination. Apple is red and bananas are yellow. Now this is a combination. That means apples are red and bananas are yellow. Or I can say you must complete your homework and you must attend school. That means both of them are necessary conditions. Okay, but I can keep this as another example of or. In the or, I can say either you do your homework or you get the punishment. So either complete the homework or you get a punishment. So it is a combination of or. Then we have a combination of if then. Now what is if then? If then is a simple combination. I say if you pass in the exam, you would get a job. So that means if you pass in the exam, then you would surely get a job. But what not if you do not pass in the exam? We cannot say you can get the job, you cannot get the job. So that is not related to it. So that is what is if then. Now if then is very, very important. When I talk about the truth table for if then, so probably we'll understand this truth table in a while, but for now let's understand that this if then implies that if you pass the exam, you would get the job. If and only if. If and only if means if I will watch the championship, if and only if I get the ticket, that means I can make it bidirectional. I will get the ticket if and only if I watch the championship. That means the ticket window would not issue the ticket unless and until I am ready to watch. And I would watch only if I have the ticket. So it is bidirectional in nature. And that is what is known as if and only if. Again, I have another example for the same. I am selected if and only if my friend is selected. That means if my friend is selected, then I am also selected, and if I am selected, my friend is also selected. And that is if and only if. Okay, so either both of them are selected or none of them are selected. So that is how we understand if and only if. Now coming on to the truth tables for the symbolic logic. So for the symbolic logic, if I say you have done your homework, the output for a not would be no, I have not done the homework. If I say not done the homework, the output would be yes, done the homework. And it's as simple as that. So, rather than writing it as 0 and 1 as we do in the Boolean logic, what we do in the case of a symbolic logic, we write it as true and false. So, if my input is true, the output would be false. If my input is false, the output would be true. Very, very simple. So, I would, for the further sections, I would represent true with T and false with F. And this is the symbol, the same symbol that we use with the Boolean logic. So, the gates, the logic gates would remain the same. Coming on to next is the AND. Now, as we said, for AND, we use inverted V sign. So, what if my inputs, both of the inputs are true, then and then only my output would be true. If any of the one input is true and the other is false, my output would be false. And if both of them are false, definitely my output would be false. So, you must go to school and you must complete your homework. That means both of the conditions are necessary. It's not that either of those would be fulfilled, then it is fine. Going to the school and completing the homework, both are required, and that is and this and here is represented with a wedge sign. The symbol, the notation for the logic gate remains the same, and in symbolic logic we use true false. Okay, so this was about and. Coming on next is or is represented by a wedge V, upright wedge. Now here either of those, if true, the result would be true. So if both of them are true or either of them are true, my result would be true. Okay. If and only if both of them are false, my result would be false. So, either do your homework or you get a punishment. So, it is an either or. Either of them, if it is true, then the output would be true. So, either you do your homework or you get the punishment. So, if one of the cause is true, then you would have the output that would be true. Okay, so that is how we understand the input. So either or is the best way to understand the logical formations for this logic scenario, and this is represented by or, and the symbology we use between P and Q is upright V. Now coming on next is if then. If then I can also write as P implies Q or if P then Q. Both of them would mean the same. So if you pass the exam, then you get the job. So if P then Q. How can I explain this? If P is true, Q has to be true. And that's the case where my output would be correct. If my P is true and output is Q is false, then my output is false because I am uprightly saying if you pass the exam, you will get the job. So then I cannot say if you pass the exam, you will not get a job. That is a false statement, false output. So if you pass the exam, you would get a job. That's a 100% sure thing. So if P is true, Q has to be true by all means, and therefore my output is true. If P is true, then Q cannot be false, and therefore if I am saying in that case if Q is false, my output would turn to be false. Now if P is false, that is if you pass in the exam, this is false, my output, even if it is true or false, does not matter because my Q, if it is true or false, that means I get a job or I don't get a job, does not matter. My output would remain true because I am claiming only if P, then Q. So for all other cases, I can just leave it out. I take another example for it. If rain, then cloud. That means this is true when if there is rain, then there has to be cloud. If there is rain, then no cloud is definitely false. Because if there is rain, there has to be cloud. But if there is no rain, I cannot say anything. So it's totally different. I can I am claiming right now only about if rain then cloud. So if no rain, there can be cloud, there can be no cloud, but the results can be true. Okay, so my output would be true. So only case where my output would be false would be a case where I claim that my P, which is rain, is true and Q, which is cloud, is false. Very, very important concept, very conceptual logic that you need to understand for the conditional statements, if then statements, which are commonly used in symbolic logic.